They dumped him in a nursing home like yesterday's trash. But what they didn't know, he was about to buy the entire building and evict the family who betrayed him. This isn't your average senior sob story. This is cold, calculated, billionaire-level revenge by an 83-year-old man they thought was too old to fight back. He turned bingo nights into boardroom brawls and made sure everyone who crossed him paid rent or got out. If you've ever been underestimated, this story will light a fire in you. Hit play. You won't believe how it ends. I still remember the chill in the air that morning, not just from the weather, but from the betrayal. It was a Thursday. My son, David, had called and said he was taking me to brunch. We hadn't gone out, just the two of us, in years. I should have known something was off. He helped me into his SUV, turned on the heated seats, and even complimented my sweater. I didn't know I was being buttered up for the biggest ambush of my life. When we pulled into Sunny Grove Care Center, my heart dropped. I asked, "Why are we here?" He didn't look me in the eye. Just said, "It's for your own good, Dad." Click. The doors locked. My own son, the boy I raised through asthma attacks, school detentions, and 2 failed marriages, left me there with a signature and a shrug. If you've ever felt betrayed by your own family, hit that like button. Because my story's just getting started. Sunny Grove was not sunny. It smelled like sadness and disinfectant. There were bingo nights and tapioca Tuesdays. I'm not saying the staff were evil, no. But it wasn't my home. The real horror wasn't the facility. It was the realization that my family had written me off. No more birthday calls. My granddaughter Sarah stopped visiting. My daughter-in-law, Brittany, never liked me much anyway. Now she didn't have to pretend. I started keeping a journal. That's how this all began. Writing everything down, every little slight, every broken promise, every plan. Because if they wanted to bury me in this place, I'd rise from the grave, richer, smarter, and owning the tomb. 3 months in, I got a letter from my bank. Strange, I thought. I hadn't used my checking account since they moved me in here. The letter said there had been significant withdrawals, large ones, tens of thousands. I asked the receptionist to help me call the bank. After a long hold and some security questions, they dropped the bombshell. My son David had gained access through power of attorney. That was the moment I stopped being sad. I got angry, real angry. That night, I wrote 3 things in my journal. 1. Take back power of attorney. 2. Find out what else they've stolen. 3. Get revenge, the slow, legal, satisfying kind. His name was Carl Whitaker. Retired, but sharp as a tack. We had met at the VFW years ago. I helped him win a game of poker once. He owed me. He came to Sunny Grove on a Tuesday. Pretended to be my grandson. We spoke in code in the garden. I need a way out, I told him. Carl grinned. You planning a prison break? No, I said. I'm planning a corporate takeover. He leaned in. Tell me everything. Carl helped me open a new trust. Quiet. Untouchable. He also got me in touch with a real estate investment group that specialized in distressed properties. Guess what popped up during the search? Sunny Grove. Yep. The owners were looking to sell. Quietly. Low occupancy. Bad Yelp reviews. And I had just enough retirement left, plus Carl's connections, to make a serious offer. While my son thought I was playing checkers in the rec room, I was playing chess. On my birthday, David sent a card. No call. The card said, "Hope you're settling in." Settling in? Like I was a couch cushion? I wrote back one word, watch. I created a shell company with Carl's help. We called it Golden Horizon Holdings. And after a month of legal gymnastics, we made the purchase. I became the new landlord of Sunny Grove. But no one knew it, not yet. I wanted them to stew in their comfort. Let them think I was helpless. Let them ignore me one more time. Because their rent was coming due. 3 weeks later, Sunny Grove received a formal notice. New ownership. Major renovations. Evacuation of all non-essential administrative offices and residential units required in 90 days. David, Brittany, and even Sarah had been listed as financial guardians and were staying in the family suite wing occasionally, mostly to show off their generosity to friends. Now they were losing it. David called a family meeting at a local diner. I showed up late in a new blazer. He started complaining about how the new owners were ruining everything, how the property was a part of our family. I sipped my coffee. When he finally asked me what I thought, I said, "I think the new owners know exactly what they're doing." His face turned red. "How would you know?" I smiled. "Because I'm the new owner." David's jaw dropped. Brittany looked like she'd just seen a ghost. Sarah just stared at me. Not with anger, not with fear, but something closer to awe. "You can't be serious," David said, practically yelling. "Oh, I'm dead serious," I replied. "You and your wife are listed as unauthorized occupants. You've got 30 days to vacate." "You wouldn't." "I already did. You just didn't notice it in time." A week later, I got a visitor in my private lounge, an area I'd had remodeled for myself. It was Sarah. "Grandpa," she said quietly. "I'm sorry." I nodded, letting the silence stretch. "You disappeared, Sarah. I thought I lost you. I thought I had to take their side. But now, seeing what they did to you, what they're still doing, I'm ashamed." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Can I work with you?" she asked. I smiled. "You just became vice president of Golden Horizon Holdings." With Sarah on board, we expanded. Bought another struggling facility in the next town. Then another. We weren't running nursing homes. We were rebuilding them. Respectfully. With dignity. As for David and Brittany, they tried to sue. But Carl was 10 steps ahead. Turns out, forging your dad's signature on a few documents? That's a felony. David sat in the courtroom, sweating. His lawyer was a discount type, the kind who advertises on late-night cable. When the judge asked if I had anything to say, I stood. "Your Honor," I said. "I raised a son who thought money was worth more than blood. I won't make that mistake with my granddaughter." The courtroom fell silent. The judge sided with me. David lost his power of attorney, was fined, and placed on probation. Brittany stormed out of the courtroom. Sarah and I walked out arm in arm. This time, I wasn't leaving a courtroom a broken man. I was leaving as a legend. My name is Edward Franklin. I'm 83. They put me in a nursing home, so I bought it. Then I bought their comfort. Then I bought their silence. I'm not bitter. I'm better. It started as a joke. Sarah and I were sipping iced tea on the patio, overlooking the garden we had redesigned at Sunny Grove. "You know they all hang out at that country club now," she said. "Which one?" I asked, though I already knew. "Briarwood Pines Country Club. Exclusive. Pretentious. The place David and Brittany never could afford until they got control of my accounts." That night, I called Carl. "Can we buy a country club?" Carl didn't even blink. "Give me 2 weeks." I wore my best golf shirt. Sarah came along, dressed like the CEO she was quickly becoming. The board at Briarwood Pines was struggling. Too much maintenance, dwindling memberships, an aging facility. We made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Full cash buyout. Immediate takeover. New branding. We didn't even change the name, just the rules. First new policy, no lifetime memberships for those with histories of financial abuse. A week later, David pulled into his usual space. Or so he thought. A valet stopped him. "I'm sorry, sir. That space is reserved for Mr. Franklin." David blinked. "I'm Mr. Franklin." "No, the Mr. Franklin," the valet said, nodding as I stepped out of a golf cart, Sarah by my side. David's face turned 10 shades of pale. We hosted our first event at Briarwood, a charity ball for elder care reform. Media, donors, lawmakers, all invited. Sarah gave a moving speech. I followed her with my story. I didn't name names, but the message was clear. You can't bury your elders in silence anymore. We remember. And some of us have excellent lawyers. We raised over $2 million that night. Brittany showed up at my condo, alone. Tears, mascara, the works. I didn't know it would go this far, she said. I didn't say a word. I was scared, Edward. He pressured me. I didn't want to put you in that place. Still, I stayed silent. I lost everything, she whispered. I handed her an envelope. Inside is the name of a therapist. You need to fix you before anyone else can. Then I closed the door. One night, I got a letter, handwritten, from a woman named Loretta Barnes. She was my first love. Before marriage, before war, before life hardened us both. She'd seen me in the paper, heard about my story. Still stubborn, still brilliant, she wrote. Still you. I hadn't felt that alive in years. She came to town. We met at a park bench. Neither of us said much at first. We didn't need to. She'd lost her husband. I'd lost my illusions. But somehow, sitting beside her, I felt like a man again, not just a symbol or a cautionary tale. She took my hand. Let's not waste whatever time we've got, she said. So we didn't. Not all revenge stories are simple. Not all allies stay loyal. Turns out, one of Carl's old associates tried to sell part of our company's stake to a third-party conglomerate. A hostile takeover. Sarah discovered it. Carl was furious. We fought it. And won. But I learned something that day. Even in victory, you must always watch the rearview mirror. David never apologized. Not properly. He sent a generic card on Father's Day. Hope you're well. I threw it in the trash. Some people only feel regret when it's too late. And by then, their place at your table is long gone. We officially rebranded it, Franklin House. Staff paid better. Residents treated with dignity. A waiting list 50 names long. And my room. It wasn't a room. It was a home. Mine. Sarah had twins. Named one after me. I cried like a baby the day they were born. We'd golf every Sunday. The little ones would chase ducks by the lake while Sarah and I argued about club management. It was perfect. If I could write to 40-year-old me, I'd say, don't trust blindly. Don't stay quiet. Don't wait to be respected. Demand it. And don't ever underestimate what an old man with a pen and a plan can do. I started a scholarship fund for seniors going back to school. Called it the Late Bloomers Fund. Carl cried when we dedicated it in his name. You're never too old to make something new. Something good. A reporter from a major network sat across from me. What would you say is the moral of your story? I smiled. Never confuse silence for surrender. And never forget, revenge is best served with paperwork. If you've stuck with me this far, you've heard a lot. About betrayal. About redemption. About standing up, even when the world tries to sit you down permanently. My name is Edward Franklin. And I didn't just survive the nursing home. I owned it. If this story moved you or made you cheer, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe. Because you never know when the next tale of righteous revenge will hit your screen.